Hey guys, Sableye here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're here with an Yveltal Stakataka Groudon core, which honestly is a core that I've considered for a while but never really got around to featuring on the channel, so I'm super excited to dive into this today. Of course, if you guys do want to skip over the team builder, feel free to do so with the timestamp on the screen right now. However, we're going to jump straight into things here. So, Yveltal Stakataka to me is one of those cores that has a lot of really positive defensive synergy, right? The only thing that really wants to break through the defensive synergy here is a big special attacker, and the Assault Vest on Yveltal really helps mitigate some of that, except for the obvious ones like the big Regieleki and stuff like that. So to mitigate that, I decided, you know what, Groudon helps deter Alecki right now, and this core right here is shaping up really nicely, because you've got the Yveltal Groudon, which is a good core already on its own in the meta, right? I don't think it's like the best core, but I do think it's definitely solid. Of course, now we have the Stakataka to this, which aids immensely in the Calyrex Ice matchup, because if they're going to want to try and set Trick Room, all of a sudden they've got a Stakataka to push through, and that's super difficult. Of course, Stakataka does very well into stuff like the Thundurus as well as the Charizard, surprisingly. Now, obviously you don't want it on the field versus Charizard. It is not the team's Charizard answer, but it can survive without Status Sun and just drop the... I actually think if I Dynamax, I might be able to survive it regardless because it's neutral. So you Dynamax, you drop the Max Rockfall Charizard, goodbye, you know what I mean? So just overall seems like the defensive synergy here is really nice. And I opted for the AV on Yveltal just because on a team like this and the way the team ended up being composed with the Groudon, the Venusaur, and the Charizard, if I'm maxing Yveltal, I'm probably not winning the game because it's probably not my mod that I want to Dynamax, right? I get more mileage out of maxing a Groudon, out of maxing one of the two G maxes to get the Wildfire chip, to get the Vine Lash chip. So Yveltal was like, I don't need to Dynamax this. I can afford to sit here and be a passive restricted and support the rest of the core. So that's kind of what this Yveltal is, guys. Just your standard AV Yveltal. 149 speed, just to make sure you're sitting at the +1 speed. If you do randomly have to get the +1 speed, or you get the +1 speed from the Charizard, right? You're at 149, you're outspeeding the Calyrex, and that's really nice. Nothing too crazy there. It's pretty much an old spread, just meant to take and live things. Moving on, we're going to go straight to the Stakataka, just because I will skip over the Groudon for now, because it's a basic Groudon, and Stakataka is the, that's what everybody's here for, you know? That's what everybody is here for. Gyro Ball, Rock Slide, Body Press, Trick Room. What I like about Stakataka is a lot of people assume it's going to have Wide Guard. And by not running Wide Guard, I basically have a five move Stakataka, because people have to play around Wide Guard until they realize I do not have it. Now, obviously, maybe Wide Guard is better in certain instances. We'll see how these games progress today, because it is more of an exploratory video right here. Normally, anytime I am in Showdown, it is more so exploratory than like this team is perfect, this team is defined, right? So definitely, if you want Wide Guard, feel free to try it out. But I did opt for Trick Room, Body Press, and Dual Stab. I do just think it is the optimal moveset. The special defense is to survive Life Orb Charizard outside of Sun, so I can easily get Trick Room up if I want to, or just simply click Rock Slide, whatever I decide there. Everything else is just kind of standard stuff. Basically the core here is if they get into Trick Room, I have big Gyro Balls. Obviously Gyro Ball into Trick Room, not into Trick Room Pokemon, not great, but if I can get Trick Room up, then it's great into stuff like Zacian and great into Groudon. It does like 50% to Groudons, guys. Like, there's no switch into Stakataka Gyro Ball. Like, it has 131 in base attack stat, and a lot of people forget about that. They see Stakataka and be like, oh, it's not going to do damage, but honestly, it really does. Of course, the Chople Berry is to take the Sacred Swords and the Close Combats from these Zacians without necessarily needing the Incineroar to be on the screen or on the field. And I also have the Incineroar now to counteract the Groudons, which I can easily switch into Intimidate for. Now, you could argue Shuca Berry. You could go Shuca Berry here, and I'm debating maybe if I want to or not. Because if I go Shuca Berry, I can bring in Incin as the switch in. And if they're not like they're gonna P-Blade and Incin's gonna take big damage. They're gonna Sacred Sword the stack. Right? So maybe Shuca Berry is better, but I am gonna stick with Chople for now. We do have Groudon. We are super bulky leftovers Groudon. Nothing crazy. I believe this is just the old AV spread that's been floating around, but I just took AV off and put lefties on it. I didn't see anything too massive to optimize right here. The concept of bulk up Groudon I really enjoy, because you get rid of the special attackers, and that's easy enough to do with something like the Yveltal with the Snarl. So I can hinder the special attackers, I can get rid of special attackers, and then I end game with bulk up Groudon, and from there I'm in a perfect position. I have Intimidates, And honestly, this is very, very solid into Zacians. And you're not going to see a whole lot of people actually bring their Zacian unless they desperately need to into this team, I would imagine. Now, they bring Zacian, I'll take it every day of the week. But like I said, bulk up Groudon, just an end game here. Obviously, nothing too crazy with the spread, just your standard Groudon, guys. And then we're going to go Incineroar. Standard safety goggles. I am debating going Dark Move over Taunt. I really don't know what I want in that slot right now. I'm going to stick with Taunt for the sake of the video. If we notice anything during the video, I will switch it over. But for right now, Taunt's the way we're going to go with. I don't need the Dark Move. I have it on the Yveltal. Taunt is nice to help stop Trick Rooms and stuff versus a Moongus. Just all in all, very, very nice. And of course, you've got now your two big maxers. I am Koba Berry on Venu. I don't love this right now. I could try Focus Sash, but I don't love Focus Sash on Venu. It has a tendency to not die when it's in the Dynamax format, outside of like Zacian. But like I said, no one's bringing Zacian, and I don't want to use Venusaur versus Zacian. I am Koba Berry to aid in the Thundurus matchups a little bit if I do need to have the Venusaur there. Honestly, it's not a mon I plan on bringing a lot. It's more so something that's going to have to come if I need to scare away Kyogres, and that's why I kind of have it on team. I mean, Gastrodon kind of does the same thing. It just does it a lot more passively, and I felt like this team needed something offensive in that position. So that's what the Venusaur is here for. Obviously, just your standard moveset. I do not think I need Earth Power when I already have a Groudon on the team, and I'm adamant in that statement. You know, yeah, you could say, yeah, I could use it for the instant. It could be coming in handy. But I have Stakataka. I have a Groudon. A Yveltal does decently versus instant as well. It's not like I need to blow up instant. You know, on something like Groudon Zacian where instant becomes a problem, I definitely see Earth Power being a thing. But for right now, I think Protect is very, very nice because it can buy turns, right? A lot of times people are like, oh, Venu can't Protect, let's target that. So then you Protect, they double into it, it buys your other Pokemon a turn. Same spread I used in the previous video for the Life Orb Venusaur, guys. I didn't see a reason to change it. I am still modest. I still wanted to hit that speed, so there was really, honestly, just kind of no reason to change anything like that. I did slap a Koba Berry. I could be Life Orb and switch to Charizard, but I think Life Orb Charizard is just super, super punishing, guys. Like, Life Orb Charizard is one of those ones that can literally win games on its own, and it can become basically like a third restricted, which is really, really nice if the opposing team isn't ready for it. Now, I do feel like maybe I could go like Regieleki over Venusaur, which is definitely something I could consider, because Regieleki would not only aid in the Kyogre matchup, but also give me a little bit of speed control, which could come in handy moving forward. So that's definitely something to consider as well. But the concept of Venusaur to me was nice, because like no matter what I max, I'm probably going to get some sort of damage on turn, which is really, really nice. But with that, guys, I say we jump straight into the battles here. Nothing too crazy overall as the team. But Stakataka, honestly, guys, I think has a niche, especially on this team. I don't know if this is going to be perfect right now, but we're going to give it a shot. Let's see what we got. Of course, the matchup that we never like to see turn one. We get the immediate Kyogre. But I do think this is still somewhat okay because I can kind of lead the Venusaur. You know what they're going to want to lead to, like the Torn Zash. In my opinion, Torn Zash is their lead. So I can almost abuse that in a sense, right? Where if I can expect the Torn Zash, I could go something like Stakataka Instant. If they lead Ogre, we cry. But I'm going to go Stakataka, Venusaur, Instant, and Groudon, I think. And basically, I'm gonna expect Torn Zash and see if we can get there's a Zacian, Ogre Zacian, which I'm okay with, because this still puts me in a position where I can hard switch in Groudon, and Venusaur can go crazy, right? Because they didn't lead the Torn, Venusaur can go crazy now. Now, do I want to kill Zacian here and get the Vines up next turn? I could opt for that. I could opt to just immediately say, you know what, I want the Vines and let's hit this Ogre right now. But I do think this Ogre might max, which is a little problematic here. Maybe Stakataka is not correct, because I think Ogre is going to max because, like I said, I bluffed the wide guard, right? Obviously, I'm going to bring in the Groudon, and I think I'm going to just go for the Vine Lash into the Ogre. I'm going to leave the Zacian. I don't think they're... I'm going to leave the Zacian. I have enough answers to Zacian. Yeah, I should have hit the Zacian. They also could protect here, right? They also could just protect the dog. They do not protect the dog, and it looks like I'm going to lose my Venusaur immediately here, which is... Oh, perfect. Even better. And this is why people need to be... They don't respect the Stakataka. They aren't respecting the Stakataka. I need to save my weather, so Instant comes back in, and I drop an immediate Flare into the Zacian. Amoonguss cannot put either of the two slots to sleep right now. They are going to go straight into the Lando, but that's free damage for me. So, Venusaur, we're going to start taking names right now. It is Whiteherb, but Kyogre in as well, and Lando's dead. Lando's just dead. Beautiful. Goodbye, Lando. Thank you for the weather. Thank you for the weather, Kyogre. I appreciate it. Now it's one of those things where I believe I get Groudon back in again. And this time I think I already have the vines, but it is time to start damaging this Kyogre. Although killing Zacian would be super nice. Let's go Groudon, and I'm going to go straight for the vines into the Ogre. I know the Ogre probably wants to max guard here, and they go for the Blade. Last time I did that though, they have to be concerned about the Venusaur, right? I could always go for the max guard, keep Venusaur around and go for Sleep Powders, which is definitely a concept maybe that I should have considered here. But if I go this into a max guard, well then they're going to get the perfect Blade. I'm going to die, so I think I'll actually lose both Pokemon. So do I lose? Yeah, I should have guarded. Max guard was my better play right there, because then I could have slept the Kyogre the following turn and just sacrificed the Incin. I don't think I ever pull this one back. We're going to go stack Incin. I think I misplayed though. Like I said, I think if I can just position to a spot where... Gonna Trick Room and see if they maybe take the Incin. If they take the Incin here, there is an outside shot. Nah, I didn't think they would. I didn't think they would. So that game's over. We'll move on. That's fine. I'm not angry with that loss at all, you know? That's just an unfortunate don't want to say an unfortunate matchup. That's just something I'm not comfortable with at the moment. Like, I think that's definitely winnable if we pilot that a little bit better. So here's one that I don't really love, but I think I can get away with just leading the Groudon Venu immediately, straight up. They can't change weather off the bat. I have an immediate Venusaur pressure. I have an Yveltal in the back. And I don't think Stakataka can come here. I think Alecki and Blastoise scare it out a little bit too much. I could go Charizard, but it's one of those ones where I think Incin is arguably better. And because I'm bringing the Venusaur instead of the Charizard, I already have the Maxer that I want to use. Now, this is one of those positions where it's like... I'm tempted to protect Venusaur since I have the Protect, right? I can protect Bulk Up and put myself in a very nice position. I'm also Cobra Berry. They can go ahead and Airstream. I'm not overly concerned. Venusaur will eat that. And they do Airstream right into the Venu. So, I scared them. That's A-okay with me. I get my attack step back. They are not... Now, I feel like I want to preserve the Venu here. Seeing the Airstream means they're probably physical, which means I can immediately hard switch into... I'm going to go Blades and get Incin on the field, I believe. Now, the question is, if they're faster than my Groudon and get a parting shot, it's fine. There's not much more I can really do versus that. I just have to accept it. Now, I could max Quake, arguably, but I'd rather not because they are probably going to bring me down to -1 here. There's another Airstream. That is fine by me. Like you said, we're going to see the parting shot off the Groudon. Okay, never mind. Never mind. We take that. We're going to get a free Precipice Blades, double connecting. Incin going to survive, which is unfortunate because of Shuka, and Regieleki as well going to survive here. Now, I think this for me is Precipice Blades and just fake out the Incin. Keep the Incin on the field, let it go down. This should be 2 clean KOs. They've wasted their Dynamax already. I still have my late game Venusaur. I do have to be concerned about them switching into something to give whatever they bring in a speed boost, which is completely fair. Let's see if they're going to go for it. They're just going to Lightning. Okay. Doesn't kill the Incin because, as I mentioned before, they are physical. Alecki's going to go down, and Calyrex does not appreciate that. And this is looking like we can just safely Dynamax the Groudon now. I don't think I need to max my Venu. Right, with the defense boost on Groudon here, we're all but in a nice spot. It's a Max Quake into the Zacian. If they switch back into Incin, they can go ahead and do so. And we'll reset the Intimidates here just because Yveltal's a pretty safe switcher. So if they can go ahead and that's the Barrage, not going to do a whole lot. They do crit the Groudon, which is slightly annoying, but Blade not going to kill me because I did get that bulk up off earlier with the defense boost. Down goes the Zacian, and we're in a spot where Yveltal just wins the game now since Zacian is gone. So this is more so YvelDon just doing work more so than Stakataka, but I do think Stakataka is an interesting concept on this core. I'd like to get some more matchups for it. Kind of forced into that Ogre one, which was incorrect, I think. Honestly, just Quake over here, and honestly, Sucker Punch if they give it to me. It doesn't matter. They won't give it to me, but at this point, we've already won. They'd have to crit me again. They do not. Beautiful. I mean, even if they did, I still have the Venusaur and the Incin. So, like, I mean, at this point, Quake and Sucker Punch is GG. They can't do anything about it. They could switch their minds into Will-O-Wisp, but it's not going to help them. Like, they could play mind games with Wisp, but it's not enough. Anyways, so that's a good W there. I mean, that's just Yveltal. As I said before, that's YvelDon doing work. Right? That has nothing to do with Stakataka in that matchup. But you want to talk about a matchup for Stakataka. I think we found it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the one. This is the one where Stakataka is going to come in and Stakataka is going to do something. Now, it's a matter of figuring out the matchup for it. Like, obviously, it's amazing, right? It's a matter of, do I lead it? I don't think I lead it. I think what I want to do is lead the Incin. I don't think Zard is amazing. I don't think Venusaur is amazing. So I think I bring these other four. I think I'm going to go Incin, Yveltal, Stack, Groudon. And it's one of those concepts where I hope they get Trick Room up. And I hope I'm able to pivot in. If they're the faster Intimidate, they are, which is nice. So what I'm going to do here, they are going to Trace Dark Aura, which is a tad bit unfortunate. But what I go for here is I could Taunt. I don't see a reason not to, but I'm going to Parting Shot. And I'm just going to Snarl in case there's any sort of like Ice Beams or anything like that. That's fine. I don't mind that at all. Snarl hinders off the P2 just a bit. And you know they're going to Parting Shot. They're going to Trick Room here and then Parting Shot next turn, which I'm okay with. So I Parting Shot the Instant slot, and I will once again Snarl. Actually, I'm going to Foul Play. Yep. Obviously not going to kill, but it doesn't need to kill at this point. Right? Because I'm Parting Shotting into Stakataka, and Stakataka does more than enough after this Foul Play. So a little counterintuitive, but it did cover the option that maybe they weren't going to switch it in. So now we've got a Stakataka on the field. And honestly, this is Max Steel Spike time. Max Steel Spike into the Rex, and I will switch out the Yveltal. Is there a reason to keep it on the field? I don't think so. No, I think I positioned this a little bit better for the end game because I can still save Yveltal for Snarls in the late game. I'm not sure if this is gonna kill because I'm -1. It should. Like, Stakataka is a beast, and I think people. Okay, that's fine. That is fine by me. There's the Steel Spike boost. Yeah, that would have definitely killed. That would have definitely killed. I'm going to Steel Spike again into that slot because I have no reason not to. And I'm just going to... I think I want to taunt the Calyrex because P2 should be switching in. Alright, so that's how we get some damage. Get another Steel Spike up. I have Body Press for that P2. It's dead on the following turn. We're going to taunt. If they want a Parting Shot into their Calyrex or into anything, I'm not overly concerned. It should be Resh coming in, but I can Parting Shot the Resh. That's fine. I also have Max Rockfall, which is exactly what I'm going to go for with a Parting Shot. You know Porygon 2 switches back into Instant and they're going to max the Resh, but it is what it is at this point. I'm not overly concerned. That's fine. I don't get my Parting Shot off, but I do get the Rockfall, boosting my Stakataka's special defense, allowing me to actually reset the Trick Room, which is exactly what I want to do right now. I don't think it's a must, but I do think I want to. I'm going to go for the Parting Shot and reset my room right here. They're not going to be able to kill me with the Reshiram, even if they do Dynamax. Stakataka, I guess Quake could have. Quake would have potentially taken the stack, but they are going to be okay with that, and they are going to say go ahead and get the Trick Room up, which I'm okay with, and I think I go Groudon. Maybe giving it the Sun was a mistake. Gonna be honest, maybe giving them the Sun was a mistake here, but I do think Rock Slide Precipice Blades is the right play. They can go ahead and go into Instant. Rock Slide, of course, not going to do crazy amounts of damage. I do miss the Cat. We do crit the Reshiram to make up for it. Max Flare coming on out, going into the Dawn. I do lose the Groudon. I think I have to Sucker Punch and Rock Slide here. But I honestly don't know if that's enough anymore. And I think I might have pivoted myself into a loss. Like, because we can admit that I definitely had a very, very good lead. And I think this is on me, not on the team. Because all I did was pivot myself into a loss here, right? I gave them the Sun for no reason when I didn't really need to. Now, I think they're more likely to fake out Stakataka at this point. I don't think Sucker Punch will kill Resh. So let's just Rock Slide, and I am going to Sucker Punch. I'm going to go for it if they give it to me. I don't think they will. Yeah, it's going to be shy. If I bring in Yveltal first, they can't toast Stakataka here. But they're actually going to hit the Yveltal, who's going to survive, which actually allows for some interesting things to happen. Stakataka Body Press into the Instant and Sucker Punch the Resh. And I think they just gave me the game back. Bye, Instant. And that's what I like about Max Stakataka, right? Because people all of a sudden, they panic. They go, we gotta hinder its attack. We gotta hinder its attack. So they start going for that. And then I just have the Steel Spike boost and I just click the Body Press button. Right? Now Body Press takes out Porygon 2 and I Sucker Punch the Reshiram again. They have to start maneuvering around that. But if they maneuver around the Sucker Punch, they're dead. So they did give me the game there by targeting the Yveltal and not the Stakataka. right? I'm going to be honest, but I also don't think I played this the cleanest, right? This is definitely a matchup where I think Stakataka realistically is the best showcase possible. And like I said, they can go ahead and do that because I kill the P2 now with the body press. Goodbye to P2, and now that we're out of Trick Room, I don't need to Sucker Punch anymore, because I will be faster than the rest of them. So I have all the defense in the world on Stakataka. I'm just going to make sure I don't miss. I'm going to body press over there and foul play the rest. Does this cost me the game? Perhaps. So I think I actually almost have to Snarl, because I don't want to Snarl in this, but the chances of me double missing a Snarl are super, super low. So I'm going to Snarl. Yeah, that's fine. As long as I hit the rest, we're good. Yep, that's fine. Like I said, foul play into the rest was also super safe. It was just shaky if they protected Resh, but Resh is generally AV, which maybe I should have picked up earlier. They were Life Orb, so they definitely would have had an option to protect. But so far, Stakataka kind of gaming, guys. Like I said, I forced it into that first game for us, and we did take the L, and that's on me. Obviously, I don't think I'm playing super, super well right now. But YvelDon's Stakataka kind of doing its job, and that job is basically just sit there and do things. So this is potentially Stakataka's game, and I think I actually want to lead it, right? Because seeing my team, they're gonna bring Thundy, and I think I can actually capitalize on that with the Stakataka. I think I go Stack Dawn with Yveltal, and I don't think Charizard wants to make an appearance here. Nor do I think Venusaur wants to. Actually, Venusaur is actually really nice here. I go Venu, but Instin's really good. I'm going to go Instant. I could go Venu Stack, actually. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I like that better with Groudon Instant. I like that better. Yeah, because now basically I'm saying you can go ahead and fake out the Venu to stop Sleep Powder, which go ahead and do. But I'm going to get Groudon in. I don't necessarily need to. I could just protect the Venu and safely Trick Room. They can go ahead and fake out Stack. I'm okay. Actually, I could just Sleep Powder anyways. I'm Koba Berry. The thing is, I want to max the Stack right now, because it's an optimal spot to do so. It's just a matter of how do I want to pivot this. I could try to just Sleep Powder and pivot Groudon in over here, which is what I'm going to go for. It is going to be a fake out Airstream right now, which is a tad bit unfortunate, but maybe Protect would have been a good play. But I get the Groudon in. I have my Stakataka in the back. Koba Berry should... Okay, that's Life Orb. That's fine. Okay, like I said, should have maxed Stack, but it's okay, I think, for the most part. I'm not overly concerned. We are going to get Parting Shotted, which is a tad bit unfortunate here. But Rockfall and Rock Slide, I think. Actually, I could bulk up so I don't die. In all honesty, doesn't seem terrible. Right? Getting the Rock Slide, getting the bulk up option up so I don't die in the endgame. But the problem is the Calyrex, not anything else. Although Rex isn't on the field right now, so I think I actually am going to bulk up here. Just try and position myself to a spot where maybe I can do something here. Because I don't think they're going to Parting Shot into Cali, right? Maybe Shadow Claw over Rock Slide on Groudon could be cool. Because then I could punish things like this, right? They have to pick which one's going to max. And I think they might try to Parting Shot the Groudon, honestly. Because who's scared of Stakataka, right? Stakataka is clearly just going to click Trick Room, right? Obviously, Stakataka is clicking Trick Room in this position. Right, I think what we could see, we might see Max Knuckle and a Flare Blitz. I could see that as well, which is why I'm going for the bulk up. There's the Knuckle. Chople Berry going to keep me well alive, not doing too much damage from that right there. Stakataka is an absolute gamer. Should be a Parting Shot. Nope, but they did get greedy. Beautiful. So they get greedy, we get the free bulk up, and we kill a Thundurus. Now, not the best turn in the world, I'm going to be honest, but we do get the crit. The crit is nice. Can't complain about the crit, you know? You can never complain about the crit. I mean, it was dead anyways. There was no world in which it wasn't. Like, Life Orb Thundurus just does not live that. That is Stab Max Rockfall. And there's not too many Stab Max Rockfalls out there right now. And, of course, the Rex is coming in. So, now it's one of those ones where I think I'm going to Steel Spike Precipice Blades. If they want to bring in Xerneas, sorry, if they want a Parting Shot, well, then the Zacian has to eat the Precipice Blades. And we're kind of just gaming. They're going to go ahead and burn me. That's fine because I kill Cali. I kill Cali. I've got my defense boost now. As long as Calyrex goes down this turn, we're good. It might survive, but it's going to be really, really rare for it to do so, I would assume. Goodbye to Calyrex. That's GG. Groudon does not lose this endgame now, unless barring any sort of crits like that. But right now, Stakataka is in a very good spot, and this is where Stakataka comes clutch, right? Now, I think what I want to do is just go for a Steel Spike and see if I can kill the Zacian with the Precipice Blades following suit. Right, they should Sacred Sword and take me down. But there's nothing I can do about that. That is what it is. But I bring in the Instant now. Instant comes on in. Incin just a gamer. I fake out over here onto your Incin, and I don't need the... Yeah, it's over, right? It's just a matter of getting through those last few turns, which is perfectly fine. Stakataka did its job there, right? And that's why I wanted to bring Veno as a bait, but I didn't use it very well as a bait, right? I have Protect Venusaur for that exact reason, to use it as a bait, cycle something else in and pivot around, but Stakataka kind of carried right there. Yo, a Alolan Executor. So, probably going to do 2 matches, this one and one more, but we'll see what goes on. See how long this one takes. This is going to be interesting. Because I want the Stakataka for the Calyrex, right? But I am terrified of Kyogre. And I think that's the main problem with this team, is finding a way to deal with Kyogre. So that if I were to develop this team, I would look into ways to deal with Kyogre a little bit better. Maybe find... I don't think Venusaur is really pulling its weight right now, so that's probably the piece. Zard hasn't really done much either. I definitely lead a Yveltal here. Yveltal absolutely goes off onto my opponent. I go Yveltal, Venusaur, Incin, Groudon. Stakataka, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm very close to bringing you here, but I think this lead for me is just better. I do get my Dark Aura, so that does reveal no Focus Sash on the... Sorry, no Choice Scarf on the Kyogre. This might actually be one of those opportunities to max Yveltal. I don't do it very often. But if I Airstream Executor, I just don't know if I can kill it with an Airstream plus a double up. Surely it kills, right? I just worry if I max, I'm ignoring the Ogre, and ignoring the Ogre doesn't seem optimal to me. But I don't think I can... Can I stop Trick Room? Do I need to stop? I think I would need to stop Trick Room, right? So because I think I need to stop Trick Room, we're going to go all in on the eggs and see if I can take out the Executor. Beautiful. Well, didn't need to go all in. I did want to double up to make sure I got that last kill. Leaf Storm, of course, not going to do crazy amounts of damage, but we're not in a terrible position. I have Intimidate if I need to switch it in. I have Darkness for some nice damage to boost my damage. And I honestly got to say, I didn't expect to max Yveltal, but it's just such a good mon in this matchup. So right now, we Darkness into Incineroar and bring in our Incineroar. I'm not trying to give them Trick Room policy here or anything along those lines. They're going to Dynamax. No Trick Room is fine. But like I said, there's the Fake Out. That's fine. Darkness goes into Incin. And now I can Darkness into their Calyrex next turn for some massive damage. I shouldn't be dying because we hindered them. Beautiful. You'll love to see it. And honestly, I just got a Darkness off into Calyrex because I don't see a reason not to. And I think I want to Fake Out the Incin. Don't let Incin get any sort of parting shot. I am going to be outside of Dynamax in a minute with a Kyogre coming on the field, which is a little shaky. So I could arguably call the Calyrex Max Guard and Darkness the instant slot, calling an Ogre switch in. But I think for right now that's relatively safe. Darkness doesn't need to necessarily kill. Should have Darkness instant though, would have been clutch. Okay, so for right now they don't have Trick Room up. You know for sure they're going to go after Yveltal, right? And there's not much I can really do about that. Do I want to kill the instant slot and parting shot? And I think the answer is yes. I think the answer is yes, because right now I'm not killing the Calyrex there, right? We can all agree that that Calyrex was never dying right there. I bring in the Venusaur right now. They shouldn't be Hailstorming the instant slot. That would be absolutely crazy if they decided to go for that. And now I can bring in Groudon for my weather. It's going to be close to finding a way to deal with this Calyrex and the Ogre at the same time. I think Incin comes in first, though, because Incin gives me Fake Out pressure. Incin gives me Taunt pressure. Actually, I leave the Incin for after the Ogre's dead. 100% of the time. Now, this is problematic if they... How problematic is this if they're slow, if they're super slow Kyogre? Very, right? I should have sacked Groudon instead of my Yveltal. It's interesting, right? I guess I could always bring Incin in first to cover for that option, but yeah, I should have done it. I should have done it. But seeing super slow Kyogre means that I can actually Sleep Powder their Kyogre and get Incin back in and just drop a Sleep Powder into the Ogre. I could Sleep Powder the Calyrex. In fact, I think I do Sleep Powder the Calyrex. Let the Water move take out my Incin. Get my Groudon back in. Water Spell comes out. Venu's going to survive, but barely. They do crit me, which is super rough. We bring in the Groudon right now. Because we're faster, Leaf Storm, Precipice Blades should drop the Ogre. And then we need the Turns of Sleep onto Calyrex. And that's simple. That's all we need. This should drop Kyogre, I would presume. Maybe not. I could go for the Sleep Powder as well. Right? They could also Protect. It's going to come down to Sleep Turns on this Cali. I'm pretty confident. Or that. Or, you know, or that. And I'm going to miss a Leaf Storm. They do Ice Beam, though. Can I get a Sleep Turn to make up for this? Okay. Okay, now I don't want to say there's a chance, but we're going to go Precipice Blades, and we're going to Weather Ball the Cali here. Weather Ball goes into Cali, takes it down. Is P-Blades going to connect? Are we going to be good? P-Blades is going to connect. We're going to be good. We are going to go one more, guys. Just because I said we're going to go one more, and I kind of want to see if this team can hit 1600s. Like I said, we're pretty mid-ladder, so nothing completely crazy, but I think there's some promise here, right? Like, the games are working, you know? This is actually going to be really, really difficult. Stakataka 100% ruled out right now. I have to lead Venu, and I have to find a way to bait something. So I think I'm going to go Venu, Yveltal Groudon. Instin's not great, but nor are Charizard and Stakataka, so Instant becomes the piece I bring. This is just one of those matchups where I think I just get hyper offense to death right now, which is shaky, which is sad. So maybe something with Tailwind, maybe an Alecki, something in exchange for the Charizard. The problem is Charizard wins certain matchups all by itself, you know? Obviously, unfortunately, didn't really get to feature that here. But Stakataka, I'm actually super impressed with. In the matchups I brought it to, it's done its job, minus the first one where I kind of forced it. But this is where Yveltal kind of goes. Why would you lead this into Yveltal? I don't understand sometimes, you know? Like, sometimes people make plays that I don't understand, and this is one of them. Like, you know I have an Yveltal. What are you gaining from... Like, what are you trying to get at here? I'm going to Protect and Snarl. There should not be Dynamaxing either of these two pieces in front of me here. Astral Barrage, go ahead, do so. Not going to be any sort of damage. Snarl's going to come on out. Not quite going to kill the Cali, which I figured it wouldn't. I also assumed Sash Cali anyways, so we're fine. I hard pivot into the Instant, and I just Snarl again. And, I mean, we're not in an amazing position, but late game Venusaur is great. They do switch to the Expanding Force, trying to kill off the Venu. I wasn't going to let them have it. There's the Snarl. Down goes Cali. Are we going to see double Expanding Force? Fine by me. So, I don't understand what goes through people's minds when they said, let's lead double lose, let's lead mono lose to Yveltal. Like, I just don't get that from people. This is still not over. Because Max Alecki is probably going to be physical. I think I go Alecki into Dawn and I try to Pardon Shot the Alecki. I think that's the correct play. I just don't want to necessarily sacrifice Groudon. There's the Max, that's fine. Helping Hand, they're going to go into Instant. Yeah. I'm okay with that, I think, because this brings in Venusaur. And with Venusaur, I go Vine Lash into the Indeedee and just drop a P-Blades. Should be super safe. They are physical, but I do have Koba, right? So if they go Helping Hand, Airstream, Venu's not dying. There should be no possible way for Venusaur to die this turn. Like, I'd be shocked if Max Venusaur died this turn. They do switch into Kyogre. This is what the Vine Lash was for. We're going to pick up that KO on this turn. Airstream, that, my friends, is where Koba Berry comes in handy. I mean, I live anyways, so was it super, super important? Probably not, but it does come in handy right there. Down goes to Kyogre. Single target. Groudon. Precipice Blade is going to connect. Going to take down the Alecki. And, guys, don't lead Indeedee Calyrex. Don't lead Indeedee Calyrex into a Yveltal, guys. Just don't do it. I do not advise it. And as you see on the bottom there, just under my little face, you do see 1600, which, I mean, the team laddered up pretty nicely, right? Probably started, I don't know where we started at today, but we did lose that first game after I forced Stakataka in. And honestly, the team's kind of solid. Maybe, honestly, dropping Charizard for an extra answer to Alecki. It's not too like the Ogre would definitely come in handy. Something like a Gastron could be really cool in this concept, right? Because then you're not so scared of them launching out Max Geysers, right? Which is definitely an option, maybe, perhaps. We'll see. I don't know. I just feel like it's very passive, right? Because I feel like there are games where you can go Groudon, Charizard, Instant Yveltal and just absolutely blow things up. I just don't think we played any of those matches. But either way, guys, the team is pretty solid. I'm actually mildly impressed with Stakataka. Like, I was kind of on defense about it, right? Like, I do think it has potential to be amazing. but it also has potential to just, you know, kind of die, which we saw in the game I forced it into. But then you look at it, what it did in the Stakataka Reshiram game, in that Thundurus game later on, it does have matchups, and I do think it definitely benefits this core. I just don't know how much, and I don't know if it's worth it to be able to patch the Kyogre core, the Kyogre matchup. But with that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I am going to stop rambling now. If you guys do enjoy the content, please feel free to like or subscribe so you don't miss out on more. And with that, I will catch you guys in a future video.